In the turbulent sea of intense emotion, it is easy to feel overwhelmed, like you are being swept away. But here's the truth: emotions are transient, they don't last forever. Discover how to find level headed clarity in challenging situations and regain control over your emotional responses. Empower yourself with emotional well being through recognizing and accepting overwhelming emotions, identifying emotions, giving yourself permission to feel, expressing emotions, observing and describing your emotions, and engaging in self compassion. Explore the significance of allowing and expressing overwhelming emotions constructively. Unlock the potential for growth and resilience in challenging times. Hi, welcome to Stress Out Stress Free. If you haven't met yet, my name is Vincent Woon, where I help people like you stay stress free by changing one habit at a time. Today's topic is going to be on emotions unleash. Recognizing and accepting overwhelming emotions is a crucial aspect of emotion self awareness and growth. Let's look into some examples to illustrate its importance and how to imply it in real life situation. For example, dealing with grief. Imagine you have recently lost a loved one and the grief of you experiencing it is intense and overwhelming. In this situation, recognize and accepting your emotion means allowing yourself to feel the pain, feel the sadness, and also the emptiness without trying to push them away. You might find yourself crying, feeling numb, and expressing a mix of emotions. Instead of berating yourself for feeling this way or try to distract yourself from the pain, you acknowledge the grief in a natural response to loss, and it's okay to grieve. Another example is facing anxiety. Let's say you have a big presentation at work tomorrow and you're feeling incredibly anxious about the anxieties about it. And then the anxiety starts to build up, and you notice physical symptoms like your heartbeat is racing, and you have sweaty palms. In this scenario, recognizing and accepting your emotions involve acknowledging that you are feeling anxious and allowing yourself to experience the discomfort without judgment. You might say to yourself, it's okay to feel anxious. This presentation is important and it's normal to feel this way. Coping with rejections. Suppose you have applied for a job or asked someone out for a date and you were rejected. These emotions of disappointment, sadness, and even embarrassed might overwhelm you, right? Recognizing and accepting your emotions means giving yourself permission to feel hurt or let down without dismissing or trivializing your feelings. Instead of telling yourself, I shouldn't be feeling this way, you you accept that rejection is part of your life, and it's natural to feel upset when things don't go as planned. Things happen, right? Next example is managing anger. When imagine you have an argument with a close friend or family members, you are seeing you see things with anger. Recognizing that and recognizing and accepting your emotions here involve acknowledging that you are angry and not trying to suppress or ignore it. You might say to yourself, I am feeling angry right now, and that's okay. It is important to I'm fe- figure out why I'm feeling this way and how to address it constructively. These examples of recognizing and accepting emotions doesn't mean necessarily and doesn't mean you necessarily enjoy or endorse them. It is about giving yourself the space and experience what you are feeling without judgment. When you are suppressed and deny emotion, they tend to intensify or manifest in unhealthy ways. On the other hand, when you allow yourself to feel accepted, feel and accept them, you often open the door to understanding yourself better and also find healthier ways to cope with it. So, by recognizing and accepting your emotions, you build emotional resilience and self-compassion. It is giving yourself permission to be a human and all the vulnerability and complexity that comes with it. From the place of acceptance, you can move forward in your emotional processing, seeking support and taking steps forward towards healing and growth. It is okay to lean to others to seek professional help and dealing with overwhelming emotions, as it is a sign of strength to address your emotional well-being proactively. Next, we're going to move to identify your emotions. Identify emotion is crucial step in the emotional intelligence and self-awareness. It involves understanding a specific emotion you are experiencing, which might be a various feelings. Let's explore some examples. Recognizing mixed emotion. Imagine you receive news that you have been promoted at work. On the surface, you might expect to feel pure joy and excitement. However, when you take the time to identify your emotions, you realize that along with the happiness, you feel anxious about the news, the new responsibility, and uncertain about whether you can handle them. In this scenario, identifying the emotions help you to see your response is not just straightforward joy, but a mix of emotion related to change and self-doubt. Let's look at dealing with relationship issues then. Supposing you are having an argument with your partner and it escalates into a heated disagreement. After the argument, you might be feeling hurt and frustrated. But upon further reflection, you realize that beneath those emotions, there is also a sense of insecurity about future and of the relationship. So identify these underlying emotions can provide valuable insights. One second here. Valuable insights into the root cause of the disagreement of your personal concern. Coping with loss. If let's say you experience a significant loss such as a passing of a family member, or you find yourself feeling not only sadness but also guilt and not spending more time with them. By identifying this emotion, you can better understand the complexity of your grief and start to address the guilt that may be adding to your emotional burden. Navigating stress at work. Imagine you are under a lot of pressure at work due to tight deadlines and demanding projects. You notice that you are feeling overwhelmed and irritable, but upon closer examination, you identify that there is a sense of fear of failure and lack of control over the situation. Understanding these underlying emotions can help you take the proactive steps to manage stress, such as seeking help from a colleague or breaking down tasks into manageable steps. And addressing loneliness. Suppose you have recently moved to a new city and struggling to make friends. Like our friend Jan, he was in Philippines for the whole month last month. Welcome back, Yon. Suppose you have recently moved to a new city and are struggling to make friends. You often feel lonely and isolated. Upon identifying your emotions, you realize that you are also vulnerable and afraid of rejection. Recognizing these emotions can help you take initiative to join social groups, attend events, and build connections, while also being compassionate towards yourself during this challenging phase. Next, we're going to move to identifying emotions. Identifying emotion is like peeling back the layers of emotional experience to reveal its core. This process allows you to gain a deeper understanding of yourself and your emotional response. Being aware of the specific emotions you are feeling, you can address the root because of your emotional experiences. This self-awareness empower you to make healthier choices in how you could respond to challenging situations, such as appropriate support and take steps towards emotional well-being and personal growth. Identifying emotion is a skill that you can hone with practice. Regular self-reflection, journaling, or talking to a trusted friend or therapist can help you become more adapted to recognizing and understanding your feelings. Emotional can provide valuable information about your needs and desire, and when acknowledged and managed constructively, they contribute to a fulfilling and balanced life. Actually, that was the round up, the summary of the identified emotion. Next, moving on, we're going to talk about grief, giving yourself permission to feel. Giving yourself permission to feel is a compassionate and essential aspect of emotional well-being. Let's explore this concept further and provide some examples to illustrate why it's crucial to acknowledge and accept your emotions without judgment. Dealing with sadness. Imagine you recently experienced a significant loss, such as the end of a long-term relationship. You might find yourself feeling overwhelmed, sadness, grief, and perhaps even a sense of emptiness. In this situation, giving yourself permission to feel means recognizing that it's okay to be sad. You don't need to put on a brave face or pretend that you are not affected, right, by the loss. Emotions like sadness are a natural response to life challenges, and experiencing them doesn't mean you are weak or inadequate. Instead of berating yourself for feeling down, you allow yourself to go through the grief process, knowing that it is an essential part of healing and moving forward. Example 2 is coping with anxiety. Suppose you are facing a doubting test of a major life decision and anxiety starts to creep in. You might feel restless, nervous, and even doubt your ability. Giving yourself permission to feel anxious means acknowledging that anxiety is a normal human response to uncertainty and changes. Instead of criticizing yourself for not being more confident, you accept that it's okay to have this feeling. The acceptance can actually help you manage anxiety more effectively, as you are not adding criticism on top of the anxiety itself. What about handling anger? Imagine you have an argument with a close friend and you are feeling intense and anger and frustration. Giving self permission to feel angry means recognizing that angry is a natural emotion that everyone experiences from time to time. It is not a sign of being bad person or lacking control, By accepting your anger without judgment, you can focus on understanding its underlying cause and finding healthier ways to express or channel that anger constructively. Facing fear. This is one that we don't like, right? Suppose you have an opportunity to take a new challenge like public speaking, but you're feeling scared and hesitant. Giving yourself permission to feel fearful means understanding that fear is a common emotion when stepping outside your comfort zone. You remind yourself that feeling afraid doesn't make you inadequate. It's an indication that you are growing and pushing yourself. Embracing the fear with acceptance allow you to take small steps facing the challenge and also gradually building your confidence. All these examples of giving yourself permission to feel means acknowledging that emotion that you are a natural and integral part of human being. Emotions provide valuable information about what's going on within you and can guide you towards taking appropriate actions or seeking support when needed. By allowing yourself to experience the emotion without judgment, you create a more compassionate, understanding relationship with yourself. You have to remember that emotions are diverse and they can vary intensity and duration. It is normal to experience a range of emotions throughout your life, ups and downs. By granting yourself permission to feel it and embrace your humanity, and in turn, you cultivate greater self-compassion and resilience. You learn to treat yourself with kindness during challenging times, which empower you to cope more effectively with overwhelming emotions and navigate life complexity with a deeper sense of understanding and acceptance. Moving along, we're going to talk about observing and describing your emotions. From a more detached perspective is a mindful technique that can greatly benefit your emotional well-being. It involves stepping back from the intensity of your feeling and objectively analyzing them. Let's explore some example on how this practice can create space between you and your emotions. Okay? Dealing with frustration. Imagine you are stuck in a traffic on your way to an important meeting and you start to feel frustrated and agitated, like the crazy driving in Philippines, right? On instead of getting consumed by the frustration, you can take a step back and observe the emotions. You might describe it as a tightness in the chest, or growing or a growing impatience, and a desire to be somewhere else. By describing this emotion and physical sensation, you create a space between yourself and the frustration. This allows you to respond more calmly, perhaps by turning on a calming music, or taking deep breath rather than reacting impulsively. The other example is coping with anxiety. Suppose you have a job interview coming up and you notice that you are feeling anxious and jittery. By observing and describing the emotion, you can recognize the specific thoughts and your body sensation associated with anxiety. You might describe the emotion as nervousness with your heart racing, palms sweating, and thought racing about potential outcomes. This practice helps you detach from. One second here. Help you detach from overwhelming anxiety and provides an opportunity to to address the underlying concern or negative thoughts pattern that might be feeling an anxiety. Feeling the anxiety. Another example is navigating sadness. Imagine you receive the disappointing news that has left you feeling sad and downcast. By observing and describing your emotion, you can pinpoint the intensity of the sadness and its physical manifestations, such as heaviness in the chest or loss of motivation. This mindful approach allows you to accept and acknowledge the sadness without getting engulfed in it. You can then take proactive steps to engage in your self-care activity or reach out to a friend for support, which can help alleviate the intensity of your emotion. And another example is handling excitement. Suppose you've been looking forward to a special event or vacation, and you're feeling a surge of excitement. By observing and describing this emotion, you can identify the positive energy and anticipate what comes with it. Being mindful of the excitement allows you to savor the moment without letting it overwhelm you. You can channel this enthusiasm into productive planning and preparation, ensuring you make the most of the experience without being controlled entirely by emotions. All these examples of observing and describing emotions allow you to create a psychological distance between yourself and your emotion you are experiencing. This practice of mindfulness enables you to become more aware of your feeling without getting entangled in them. By acknowledging and labeling your emotions, you gain a clearer understanding of what you are going through, both emotional and physical. This increases your self-awareness, empower you to respond to your emotions in a more thoughtful and constructive manner. You can make wiser decisions, seek appropriate support when needed, and take steps to address the root cause of negative emotions. Mindful observation and description of emotions also prevent impulsive reaction, helping you cultivate emotional resilience and adapting in various situations. Then remember, mindfulness is a skill that requires practice. The more you engage in observing and describing your emotion, the more proficient you become in recognizing and managing them effectively. Over time, this practice can lead to a healthier and more balanced relationship with your emotion, promoting overall well-being and emotional intelligence. Let's move to the second last one, expressing emotion. When you express your emotion, expressing emotion is in healthy ways is vital for maintaining emotional well-being and preventing the buildup of stress and tension. Let's look at some example. Journaling. Journaling keeps a journal is an excellent way to express your emotions and thoughts in preventing and non-judgmental space. Imagine you are going through a difficult period at work and you are feeling overwhelmed and stressed. By writing in your journal, you can freely express your frustration, fears, anxieties that related to the situation. Putting your emotions in words can provide a sense of relief and clarity, and it allows you to reflect on your challenges you are facing and explore potential solutions. Another example is engaging in creative activities. Creativity can be a powerful outlet for emotions. Suppose you are experiencing a mixed emotion after a significant life change, such as moving to a new city again. Engaging in a creative activity like painting, drawing, writing poetry, or even playing music instruments can help you channel those emotions into something meaningful. Artistic expression also allows you to communicate Communicate and communicate. It allows you to communicate your feelings that might be challenging to put into words, and it can be cathartic, cathartic, cathartic way to process emotions and find comfort in self-expression. Another example is participating in physical exercise. Physical exercise is excellent way to release pent-up emotions and reducing stress. For instance, if you're having a particular frustrating day, go for a run or engaging in a high-intensity workout can help you release all the tension and promote a sense of calm. Exercise also triggers the release of endorphins, which are natural mood lifter and improve your overall emotional health. Or another example is talking to a friend. Sorry about that. Talking to a trusted friend or therapist. Verbal expression of emotion is equally important. When dealing with complex emotions such as grief or loss, sharing your feeling with a trusted friend and family members can provide comfort and support. Talking through your emotions allow you to feel and heard and validated, and it can foster a sense of connections with others. Additionally, if you find it is challenging to cope with overwhelming emotions, seek support from a therapist or a counselor that can provide a safe and non-judgmental environment to explore and the process of your feeling. And we're going to come to mindfulness meditation. Mindfulness meditation is another way to express emotion internally and process them in a healthy manner. Sitting in quiet meditation and acknowledging your emotions without judgment allows you to create a space for self-compassion and self-awareness. Mindfulness practice can help you become more attuned to your emotion and develop a better understanding of how they can affect you, leading to more balanced emotional response. In all this example, the emphasis is on finding constructive way to express emotions. By expressing yourself through journaling, creativity, physical activities, talking with others, or meditation, you release the emotional energy in a healthy and productive way. This prevents emotions from building up and becoming overwhelming. Remember, the key to healthy emotion is to express. Blah. Remember, the key to healthy emotional expression is to find methods that resonate with your personality. Everyone is different, so explore various outlets and discover what is best for you. Engaging in a regular emotional expression not only benefits your mental, emotional well-being, but also build your resilience and cope with more effectively with life challenges. Engaging in self-compassion is a powerful and essential practice for nurturing a positive relationship with yourself and promoting emotional well-being. It involves treating yourself with kindness and understanding, especially during times of difficulty and emotional struggles. Let's look at that's the last one. Let's look at how engaging in self-compassion. Let's look at some examples of that. Dealing with failure. Suppose you are recently experienced a setback at work or in your personal life. Instead of berating yourself and engaging in a negative self-talk like I'm such a failure or I can never get anything right. You practicing You practice self-compassion. You remind yourself that failure is a natural part of life, and everyone experiences it at some point, right? Rather than criticizing yourself harshly, you adapt to a more compassionate inner dialogue, saying it's okay to make mistakes. It is an opportunity to learn and grow. I'm not defined by this setback, and I'll do better next time. Another example is coping with rejection. Imagine you've been turned down for a job or a romantic interest. Instead of internalizing the rejection and thinking I'm not good enough, nobody will want me, you show yourself self-compassion. You recognize that rejection is a normal part of your life and it doesn't diminish your worth as a person. Rather than dwelling in your self-doubt, you offer yourself kind words like, it's okay to feel hurt, but I know I'm my value. The right opportunity or relationship will come my way when the time is right, because there's always a time for everything. Another example is managing stress and overwhelm. Suppose you are juggling multiple responsibilities and you are feeling stressed and overwhelmed. Instead of criticizing yourself for not being able to handle everything perfectly, you can practice self-compassion. You acknowledge that it's okay to feel stress and it's human to have limitation. Rather than pushing yourself to break to the breaking point, you offer yourself grace and say, I'm doing the best I can, and that's enough. It's okay to take breaks and ask for help when needed. Next example is navigating difficult emotions. Imagine you're going through a period of grief and sadness after losing a loved one. Instead of suppressing your emotions, or feeling guilty for mourning, and you show yourself self-compassion. You recognize that grieving is a natural process and it's okay to feel pain of loss. Instead of trying to rush through the grieving process, allow yourself to feel, heal, and at your own pace. Saying it's okay to grieve. I love and was loved and was loved in return. I'll give myself the time and space I need to process this loss. In this example, self-compassion involves treating yourself with same kindness, understanding, and support that you would offer to a close friend who's going through a tough time. It means recognizing your shared humanity and acknowledging that everyone experiences challenging emotions and life's ups and downs. By practicing self-compassion, you cultivate a more nurturing and gentle inner voice, which contribute to a high esteem, self-esteem, resilience, and emotions. Well-being. Self-compassion allows you to accept yourself imperfection, and it helps you to navigate difficult emotions with greater emotional intelligence and grace. Remember, self-compassion is not about being self-indulged or complacent. It's about acknowledging your humaneness and responding to yourself with empathy and care. By being kind to yourself and build a solid foundation of emotional support and self-love, which can positively influence how you handle your challenges and interact with others. All right, that's all I have for today. Let's look at, let me just do a very quick summary. You talk about talk about emotional emotions unleash. The first one is to talk about recognizing and accepting overwhelming emotions. Just change that. Talk about overwhelming emotions. Then we talk about identifying emotions, how you identify and just identify emotions, and identify emotions is like peeling the back layer of an emotional experience to reveal its core. This process allows you to gain deeper understanding of yourself and your emotional response. Then we move on to giving yourself permission to feel. Giving yourself for permission to feel the emotions are diverse and they can vary and intense in duration. It is normal to experience a range of emotion throughout life's ups and downs. By granting yourself permission to feel, you embrace the humanity, and in turn, you cultivate greater self-compassion and resilience. And then you want to observe and describe your emotion. By observing and describe your emotion, you engage in the more proficient you become in recognizing and managing them effectively. Over time, this practice can lead to healthier and more balanced relationship with your emotion and promoting overall well-being and emotional intelligence. Fifth one is expressing emotions. Expressing emotions is the key to a healthy emotional expression. Is to find methods that resonate with your personality. Everyone is different, so you explore various outlets and discover what works best for you. And engaging in a regular emotional expression not only benefits your mental and emotional well-being, but also helps you to build resilience and cope with more effective with life challenges. And then the last one is engaging in self-compassion. Engaging in self-compassion is not being self-indulgent and indulgent or complacent. It's an acknowledging your humaneness and responding to yourself with empathy and care. By being kind to yourself, you build a solid foundation of emotional support and self-love, which can positively influence you handle challenges and interact with others in your life. Okay, just go to the chat and see. Hi, Yon, welcome back. Yes, I tend to berate myself mentally for feeling sad and other strong emotions, which of course make it worse. Yep. Never berate yourself. Just let it be and let you feel the emotion. Basically, is feel the emotion and let it be and let go. Right? Say thanks for coming back. As men, we are expected to suck it up when dealing with tough situation, which is fine up to the point, but can become detrimental. That's true. Yeah, like everything has a limit. So we have to. Sometimes we just have to just tell it that it is. Yep. Yep. Anxiety doesn't help. Anxiety is always there, and that's why we talk about stress here. Is come here for stress out, stress free, right? If you're stressed out, come here to get stress free. I don't know what you're laughing at. Something. Yeah, it's okay. Yes, the traffic. Yep. Yeah. One was telling me the he's in Philippines and the traffic is terrible the way they drive. Excellent topic. Thank you. You're welcome. All right. If you have any more questions, please let me know. Let me know in the chat. Thank you, Jan. You always like my topics. All right. Good. Good to see you back. Welcome back. And yes. All right. If there's no more questions, no more questions, then let me just go to here. Thank you very much for watching. And if you like this video, please share with somebody you know. And please give us a thumbs up. And also, if you haven't subscribed yet, go click on the subscribe button and share with somebody you know. And if you really like this channel and you want to support us, you can always go to, let me see, can always go to right here, buymeacoffee.com/Vincent Moon, or you can support us at our merchant store, press and sew / stress out stress free. I'm working on a new site for my merch, and also new site on my merch. So I will let you know. The other side has more merchandise, and they're pretty fast. So, and in fact, yeah. So I will let you know soon. Hopefully I get that set the store up so I can share the information with you. Okay, good. I schedule a session with you on Friday, FYI. Oh, great. Thanks. Okay, yeah. Let me just check my calendar. Let me just check my calendar so we are on the same page. Yes, if you have any questions that you want, do you have any questions and want to ask me, you can have a hold on a second, let me just grab it. I'll put the link here. The link is in the description below, so you just okay, this right here. Let me just send it out. Okay, the link is in the description below. You can get a free discovery call in Zoom. You just go to calendly.com/Vincent Woon /15 minutes. Let me just. The link is in the description, in the chat, in the description in the chat right here, and also let me just show you the. Right here, you can schedule a 15 minutes Zoom call at calendly.com/Vincent Woon Vincent-Woon /15 minutes, and or you can just go to the link right. You can go to the link right here, right there, in the description, or in the description, or the link right in the chat, right there for YouTube, and Facebook is right at the bottom. Okay, thank you very much for watching, and don't forget to stay stress-free by changing one habit at a time, and I see you in the next video. Yon, did you schedule this to the calendar or no? Let me know. Alright, thank you very much for watching, and I see you in the next video. Don't forget to check out this video that's going to pop out after the fact. And I see you and have a great